Alright, now try. Still nothing. You can get there, both. Alright, hit it now. I can't believe that worked. Yeah.
So what agent are you? 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 So what agent are you?
That was kind of interesting. So what agent are you? My bag. Is my shit even on Wi-Fi? No? Wi-Fi is on. Alright, okay. I know my phone is acting all weird this morning. Alright, whatever. Alright. Yo, what up? You want? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Day of the Sun. Alright, the laptop is powered up.
Japanese snacks. The boy is today's sponsor for you.
Boxu, yeah.
We have Boxu, which is a monthly.
The year is 2090, and a rapid spike in our population has depleted the Earth's resources. Since 2020, the population has risen from 7.8 billion people to an astonishing 11 billion people worldwide. But 2090 is the breaking point. The growth of our species is finally slowing down because our planet can no longer sustain us. The stress on Earth's environment is too great. Will this be the end of civilization as we know it? Or will humanity persevere yet again through advancements in technology? By the year 2000, our growing demands for land, fuel, and paper wiped out 50% of the world's rainforests. Between 2001 and 2019, humans destroyed another 386 million hectares of forest globally. In the year 2090, rainforests are on the verge of extinction. The world's most biologically diverse ecosystem is dying, displacing and endangering millions of species. As the creatures of the rainforest vanish, marine life follows in their footsteps. Our astronomical population consumes alarming quantities of seafood on a daily basis. Corporate overfishing ravages the world's oceans, and the breeding populations of sea creatures like tuna and lobster fall to zero. The oceans are empty, and the rivers have run dry. Humans ultimately failed to reduce their water consumption. Now, in 2090, humans are experiencing the greatest freshwater shortage in history. To make matters worse, global temperatures are climbing. Arid environments across the globe are experiencing record-breaking heat waves, and the agricultural industry is paying the price. High temperatures and water shortages dehydrate fertile farmland. In 2090, the world grows less natural produce than ever. Our resources, from fresh water to fresh fruit, are withering away. While climate change scorches our dry ecosystems, temperatures rise around the North and South poles. Massive sheets of ice sink into the ocean. In 2090, West Antarctica, once a barren, sub-zero climate, has lost substantial quantities of ice. As the continent thaws, West Antarctica sees a massive migration of new settlers. Towns and cities, like those in Alaska and northern Scandinavia today, welcome immigrants from around the world, turning Antarctica into an up-and-coming cultural melting pot. As sheets and glaciers fall to pieces, sea levels rise substantially. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, that number could climb as high as 2 feet. Oceanic flooding overwhelms coastal cities around the world. Coastlines and archipelagos have been evacuated. Millions of people have been displaced from their homes. Over 75% of the Maldives, the lowest lying islands in the world, have sunk underwater. While Mother Nature struggles in 2090, technology booms. At the helm of our digital expansion, corporate giants pioneer state-of-the-art machines and innovations. Powerhouse businesses and their trillionaire CEOs dominate the world, leading our civilization into a new virtual age. By 2090, these tech giants have created autonomous robots in almost every major industry. Drones deliver packages to your doorstep. Autonomous clerks scan your groceries and handle your money at the bank. The world is dominated by more machinery than ever, but we've only scratched the surface. Technological innovations have transformed the transportation industry. Between major city centers, passengers can board hypersonic vac trains. These trains combine maglev technology with pneumatic tubes, traveling 4,000 miles per hour in sealed vacuum chambers. Vac trains have revolutionized the transportation industry, creating a fast, convenient, and energy-efficient method of transoceanic travel. In 2019, urban centers are more connected than ever. Our once divided, nationalized culture has established new global standards. Hundreds of languages are no longer spoken. In their place, a handful of common languages, likely English, Spanish, and Mandarin, have grown exponentially more popular, dominating both business and education. Cities have grown taller and far more densely populated in 2019. A record-breaking portion of the population lives in high-rises, which are buried in crowded cityscapes. Urban centers as dense as modern-day Hong Kong or New York City are commonplace in countries around the world. The lifestyle of the average person has changed drastically. People are working fewer hours than ever. Our international culture has shifted its priorities, favoring creativity and free time over material possession and stability. Thus, the average employee works only 20 hours per week, reducing their annual workload by about 50%. We may work less, but our population is more knowledgeable and qualified than ever. Our changing technological world, as well as the automation of entry-level jobs, has created higher working standards. More people have earned bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees than ever before. In 2019, higher education is on the rise. As our economy grows more tech-focused, the workforce sees a gradual but significant transformation. The more machines we build and employ, the more people we need to design and program. This creates a surplus of technical positions with high creative and intellectual standards. In 2019, the workforce is populated by more programmers than secretaries. As we near the end of the 21st century, computers experience an incredible shrinkage, resulting in a boom for nanotechnology. Computers the size of blood cells can be implanted into our bodies. They moderate our daily faculties, preemptively fight diseases, and supply our brains with consistent nourishment. The same microscopic technology brings virtual reality to the forefront of education and entertainment. Tiny machines implanted into your brain intercept live perpetual signals and produce spectacular virtual spaces right in front of your eyes. These computers also control your motor functions, creating the illusion of movement, like walking in a lucid dream. In the year 2019, you can immerse yourself in realistic virtual spaces populated by lifelike virtual characters. With the press of a button, you can venture to far reaches of a virtual solar system. You can walk with giant squids and anglerfish at the bottom of the ocean, or explore fantastical universes alongside your favorite fictional characters. The limitless potential of virtual reality is finally at your fingertips. For those unsatisfied by virtual exploration, the flourishing industry of space tourism offers wealthy travelers a view of the Earth from orbit. Those lucky few can journey to a lunar colony or visit a small but self-sustaining city on Mars. 2090 is a year of feast and famine, of progress and destruction. As the natural world crumbles around us, 2090 promises groundbreaking innovations and exponential growth. But the future of our species is, and always will be, a mystery. Experts can formulate convincing predictions, but the universe has a habit of changing the future in ways we don't expect.
Energizer's 2032 packaging has been rigorously tested to be tear-resistant, chew-resistant, mischief-resistant, almost adult-resistant since 2013, so your little ones stay safe.
Yo, what up?
Yes, honey. Neil deGrasse Tyson, I asked you to take the dog out for a walk and left the house 4 hours ago. Now I come back and this little motherfucker is done pissed on my drapes. Now I gotta get rid of those things and get new ones. Neil, it doesn't make any sense. You are an astrophysicist. How can you not keep track of little details like this? Well, actually, it's the little details that cannot be kept track by definition. In 1927, a German university lecturer named Werner Heisenberg came to a seemingly paradoxical conclusion that the more we know about the position of a particle in physical space, the less we know about its momentum, and vice versa. Okay, but what? Taken in conjunction with what we know about the expansion of the universe, this brings us to a fascinating possibility. That maybe
Sushi, my bad, bro.
We're designed to profit with Primple. Place them on any of our products and sell them on the world's most popular.
So this motherfucking Tesla bike about to be some crazy shit, yo.
The painter, not the musician. I like it, yeah. Yo, so this is always what's fascinated me about Elon Musk. Like, he'll already have so much shit in the works before he announced that shit, yo. Like when he announced the Boring Company, he already was drilling tunnels and shit before he really announced that shit. And then like he just pops up and say, "Oh, I got a humanoid android robot coming out." But like, how far along is this shit before you let people know? He doesn't be like, "Yo, I'm thinking about making an android robot." Maybe a couple years from now, like, nah, he's like, "Yo, we started on something. We'll show it to y'all in a little while." Like, now this motherfucker about to, I don't know. Yo, in Boston Dynamics put out a new video for their Atlas robot. Bruh. That new Atlas robot look crazy. Well, it still looks the same, but the shit that they got it doing now is like, this shit about to be a ninja. For real, man. But I don't know. I can't wait to see what Elon Musk do with his robot. Cause he probably just stole a bunch of the Atlas technology. This is old footage here.
Neural net recognizing the world, understanding how navigate through the world. It kind of makes sense to put that onto a humanoid form. We're also quite good at sensors and batteries and actuators. So we think we'll probably have a prototype sometime next year that basically looks like this. And it's intended to be friendly, of course, and navigate through a world built for humans and eliminate dangerous, repetitive, and boring tasks. We're setting it such that it is...
And this is... Yo, I keep saying this, bro. We are living in the science fiction of our childhood. We can talk through TV screens. Like, if you give me your number, we can FaceTime and literally do the Star Trek shit and see each other and talk to each other at the same time. We can talk to our computers and tell them to give us an answer for something, or tell them to do something we want. Alexa, turn on the lights. Start your car from a distance. Like, we got spaceships and satellites and now driving cars and robots. Is like, I don't know, when I was fucking 12 years old, none of this shit existed. This shit was fucking science fiction. And it's like, oh, in the future, the world will be. And it's like, yeah, it is. I'm in the future now. Like, this is literally the science fiction of my childhood, yo. This is the beginning of Skynet. Like, we've seen this before. No, that shit was a flip phone, but in fucking what's it was? The Next Generation, Star Trek Next Generation, Jean-Luc Picard, they had the big ass TV screen pull up on the viewer, and then they can see the people from the other spaceships. Like I said, you can like talk to each other. Dick Tracy had the fucking watch with the TV screen on it. Like, motherfuckers, the ideas and concepts were already there. All the ideas and concepts were already there, yeah. Thank you, babe. But they communicators was like little flip phones. They'll flip that shit up, talking that shit, flip it back down. We're living in like some amazing fucking times right now. Like the shit that we can actually do. Like I say, before I was a kid, when I was a kid, that shit didn't even exist, and now there's so much technology in existence. I can't imagine like another 100 years from now. Because if we have the AI algorithms that can pilot an automobile in traffic, and then we have the capabilities of humanoid robot frames like Atlas and whatever iRobot that the Tesla bot is going to be. Like, and that's now. In 15 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years from now, that shit is going to be like, this is the age of Aquarius, the age of Aquarius. Shit is changing, man. We're leaving from the age of Pisces, and we're entering the age of Aquarius. We're at the point where we stop evolving naturally, and now we're going to like have a direct hand in our evolution. We're going to create something that's so much more smarter than we are, and then we're going to merge with this shit, and then we're going to become something different. But it's going to be of our own doing, not because of natural selection. The singularity. The creation of the Superman.
At a mechanical level, at a physical level, you can run away from it. And most likely overpower it. So hopefully that doesn't ever happen, but you never know. So it'll be a light, well, yeah, 5 miles an hour. You can get run faster than that, you'll be fine.
We'll make it only run 5 miles an hour, so if anything does go wrong, you can get away from it. You can just run away. You can run faster than 5 miles an hour. Yeah, but humans get tired of running. And depending on what kind of power battery operations this thing could have, it could potentially run forever. So while you're tired of running, or a human has to sleep and get rest and eat and recover, this shit can continue to approach and make its way toward you. And all you gotta do is put a gun on it, because bullets can travel faster than the speed of sound, and you can't run that fast. So it doesn't matter how fast the machine itself can move. Put a gun on it, just like Spot Mini. Put a gun on it. Atlas. All you gotta do is put, and you if you see what Atlas is doing now, and you put a gun on that motherfucker. That's that Spot Mini. Yes, they definitely have already implemented Spot Mini in police departments, yo. And people are like, what the fuck is that?
You done with it?
Yeah, yeah. And they're like, why the fuck y'all sending robots in here? Oh, so we don't have to risk our lives. And if you damage our robot, that's just like damaging a police officer. You going to jail, fines, fees, and everything. You know what I'm saying? We don't need human interaction in a lot of different fields anymore. And so they're going to slowly phase in the little doggy looking robots. Ha ha ha. Oh, they have some pushback. It looks weird and futuristic, but it doesn't look like scary or intimidating. Do that shit for a couple years, 15 years, you know what I'm saying? Like gradually like have some type of robot presence in police forcing, whether it's the Spot Mini or drones, because a lot of police departments have high altitude drones that watch highways for speeders, but they're so high you don't even notice them, you don't see them most of the time. But then just walking regular streets in commercial business districts and shopping areas, they can have drones where you can see instead of having a camera at this stoplight or a camera here, they can have a fleet of drones that are constantly patrolling and surveying an area 100%, like 100% of a certain area constantly all day with no breaks. And slowly just implement that gradually, and then, like I say, they'll put out full humanoid robots, and 2 generations from now, people will just be used to it. You know what I'm saying? My grandkids will think that shit is just normal. We don't have police. We do have police, but the police aren't humans, they're robots. You can't technically kill a police officer. And then where would those jobs go? And what would people like that do? Then it might be like our entire military. And the only thing it is cost of production and acquisition of raw materials. If somebody can make it cheap and easy enough to manufacture like hundreds of thousands of these things, you best believe there will be a switch. And really all they got to do is be like a slow change from the auto industry, because eventually we're not going to make as many cars as we make now, because the oil industry is almost done. And so with less production of automobiles, all of those, once again, those raw materials and resources, even the recycled materials, can go towards making more automated robots and drones. And soon, like, driving may be a luxury left for like the uber rich,
You coming in here or not?
where they don't
We're gonna.
where they don't allow most people to even own a car. Everybody uses public trans, and public trans just functions and operates by itself. There's so many different scenarios on which way this shit can go.
So, yeah, it's a around 5'8". Has sort of a screen where the head is for useful information, but as always, basically got the autopilot system in it. So it's got cameras, got 8 cameras, and yeah. Self-driving computer, and making use of all of the same tools that we use in the car. So, I mean, things that I think that are really hard about having a useful humanoid robot is it can't navigate through the world without being explicitly trained. I mean, without explicit, like, line-by-line instructions. Can you talk to it and say, you know, please pick up that bolt and attach it to the car with that wrench, and it should be able to do that.
Wow, and I was just watching something about how social media is fucking us up.
Please go to
With
the
the
store
algorithms
and get
and
me the following groceries.
What's up, Slippers?
This is much better.
Riley. Riley. Hi. There's someone here who wants.
But not right now, this is going with his work. And so, resume in a minute. So, yeah, I think essentially in the future, physical work will be a choice. If you want to do it, you can, but if you want, you need to do it. And, yeah, I think I'll say profound.
This video is so low, but he said in the future,
I think it will be, I mean, that's foundation.
physical work will be a choice. Like, if you want to work with your hands, that's because you
That's what you
not
wanna
if you
do.
want. It's if you do work with your hands, it's because you want to, not because you have to. There will be so many machines and so many automated systems where physical labor is really not. It's not necessary to earn a living. It's gonna be weird as shit, and that's why like some of these movies like WALL-E, and there was another animated cartoon movie about the future, but humans are just all fat, and they just ride around on their little hover scooters and shit, and their hands are all tiny because they don't have to do shit anymore.
Big old heads and just little tiny bodies.
Yeah, some shit like that. It's just like our physiology will change if we don't have to do physical labor, because that's what we've been doing our entire existence, because we're fucking animals.
Yeah.
Manpower will be less optional.
But then
It
that's the thing,
definitely
like
will be.
if technology and everything just fucks up today, even right now, shit is gonna be fucked up. Like for so many jobs, offices, and whatever. So I can only imagine like when we don't use our own fucking bodies. Like, first it's technology, now we're not gonna use what we have, and then we're just gonna be consumed by the technology until the point that it takes over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how long for the robots to decide, hey, we gonna run this shit?
Humans are too weak.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's just not far-fetched at all.
I mean, once again, it's the Terminator movie. It's the fucking Matrix movie. It's like, I mean, this idea has been out there. There is this
But remember that one thing we watched, and they were like, they thought they were humans, but they really were computers already.
Oh yeah.
They were like a simulated human. That shit was crazy. Like, none of it is far-fetched. We don't know what the fuck is gonna happen.
There's this, matter of fact, when this shit came out, yo, there's this old-ass anime, and this is like, I think I saw this before I saw The Matrix. I just want to check the dates. Let me see.
Yeah, no, let me make sure I keep using my hands.
Yo, okay. It definitely is. So this is 1993.
Yep.
There was this movie called Kashin Robot Hunter. And the whole premise of the movie was humans created some robots, and they said your main goal is to preserve the earth. And so they figured out that humans were a cancer to the earth, and they started wiping out all fucking humans, yo. Mm-hmm. But then this one scientist, his grandson died, and he brought him back and built him into like this super being so he can go and, you know, defeat the robots and try to save the world for humanity, because the robots weren't playing, yo, and they was making the humans like bow down.
Weren't they just like hitting them with the lasers as soon as they seen them? Is it that movie?
The short-haired Kashin Robot Hunter?
Nice,
yeah. Yo, this shit is old as shit, yo. Total Recall? Been seeing that shit, yo. I didn't watch the fucking, the remake, yo. They remade that shit. Oh, they took it from a movie and made it into a series too, because I only remember the movie, yo. Yeah, 1993 movie.
Hi, we're Woodchuck.
Yeah, Total Recall was a fucking good ass movie, yo.
It makes me want to move.
Oh my god! Our products. Shinzo Ningen Kashan premiered on Fuji TV in October of 1973. Kashan was the second of several sci-fi superhero anime to come from Tatsunoko Studios in the 70s, following the immensely successful science movie Gatchaman in 1972. Following might not be the best phrasing though, since Kashan premiered while Gatchaman was still airing. In fact, Gatchaman's
Why is some of the audio so low?
From the anime culture in America, Mitch was a screenwriter, producer, director, and jack of all trades that laid the groundwork of how anime is adapted and licensed here in the U.S. He originally got his start in the industry proper at Harmony Gold, where he was responsible for a number of anime titles, most notably fucking Robotech. That should be the end of the discussion right there. A man created Robotech.
Case closed. But no, there's more to the story. He left Harmony Gold and co-founded Streamline Pictures with Jerry Beck, which was responsible for pretty much every anime in the late 80s and 90s. We're no stranger to these titles, as we've covered a great many of them over the course of the show. From Twilight of the Cockroaches to Wicked City to Fist of the North Star to freaking Akira, Streamline's place and thus Masek's place in anime history is cemented. And here is also why
I never thought of that. Who runs the companies that say, yeah, let's bring this Japanese movie to America. Let's get a cast of Americans to dub over and put English voices in. Who selects those movies and how that process works? They say this dude right here brought Fist of the North Star, Akira, and a bunch of other movies over to America. Robotech. Like, yeah, I never even thought about that. Like, who selects that shit? Who makes that shit happen?
Further, Masek had a very loose approach as to how strict the translated scripts should stick to the original.
Yeah, and that too, because
the argument that Masek was less an adaptation screenwriter.
That shit gets me in any movie. If we're watching a French movie or a Spanish movie, like if especially when it has an American dub, English dub over it, but then you listen to the American dub and then watch the original translation, and sometimes it doesn't say the same thing. Sometimes they'll say, there's one movie I had where they said one character was, in the subtitles it says grandfather, but in the American dub over it, they just say doctor or scientist. He doesn't call him grandfather, he says doctor such and such. But in the original translation it says grandfather. I'm like, damn, that kind of makes a big difference. Is he just a scientist that you know, or is this really your fucking grandfather? Right. And yeah, so like, I always wondered that too. Who really translated and says, let's alter this word or this phrase or maybe this whole sentence.
And more of an abridger. Not that I would know anything about abridging, of course.
Now we're gonna see this all the time.
Oh yeah, we gotta go to the store today.
Yeah, some baked macaroni and some.
Exactly.
But I get the frustration that certain people have with this sort of approach to adaptation. Anime is a singular story with an intended.
And then you'll notice too, like some older movies, there has never been an English dub for it. You know, like they never ever hired a crew or nobody to translate that shit.
Japanese is a very context-based language, and often relies on situational phrases.
The Japanese is complex as well.
Or on the way a certain word or phrase is said. It's like the difference between the word toss and throw. Both mean the exact same thing, but one is more appropriate to the situation than the other. For an apropos example, we all know that "Omewa no Shinderu" means you're already dead in English. However, you can't use that line in the dub because "Omewa no Shinderu" has 8 syllables, and "you're already dead" has 5.
No.
They got it, because he was saying, like, they got to get that shit perfect.
Yeah.
Like, the syllables got to match up and all that.
But I've only read the Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons. I've never read Inferno. But even in the Da Vinci Code, when they made that into a production, and they had a great actor like Tom Hanks played. Oh my fucking god, I can't think of the character's name now. Professor.
I remember reading the book.
Anyway, yeah, but I don't know. They just changed so much. You know, there's only but so much you can do, and then like you said, to make it more palatable for people to accept and absorb, they have to. I don't know. Some movies they try to make it more gory and explosive. Yeah, Robert Langdon. And and then some movies they try to tone it down a little bit. So I don't know. That's why, like, I'm not religious at all, but Passion in the Christ is probably like the best Jesus story. They beat the fuck out of that nigga. That shit was crazy. That's goddamn.
I remember being younger and my mom was like reading something and she was like, yeah, God could be a woman. And I was lost as a kid, like, what? What do you mean? And now that I'm an adult, I don't get why people say it.
Yeah. I have another Dan Brown book on my shelf that I haven't read yet. It's Oh
wow.
Oh, totally different endings, huh? Totally different endings. That's crazy. I haven't read any fiction in a while. You know.
That fictional truck book was really good.
Yeah.
The Adventures of Baron Trump. That shit was really good.
So I just wrapped up this one book, which is nonfiction. It's just like a theoretical thesis, but there's so many factual points behind it. So.
Isabel Wilkerson.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a really good author, critical thinker, whatever you want to call it.
So, I don't know what I'm gonna read next.
We can switch books.
You know. If you read the book first, bro, you never like the movie, bro. I don't give a fuck what it is. You never like the movie, and that's it's weird because when you read a book, it's your movie. You know how you make the characters look the way you want them to look, even if the author describes the character to you. You still take those descriptive words and build your own mental imagery of what you're seeing. You voice your characters the way you want them to sound. And then when the right, especially if it's a good book and the author can like weave together a way to make you like the characters or have empathy or sorrow for these characters and tell like a really good story, it's hard to put that shit on the big screen and then have the same expectations because it's like that's not what the story was like, bro. That's not. Even if it's a really good director and really good actors and really good writers for the screenplay, it's just hard. It's hard to capture a novel and put it on the screen. It doesn't.
Especially, I feel like too when like a lot of time has gone by. Like, remember we were watching The Giver?
Yeah.
And I read the book for the first time like as a younger child, and then like watching the movie, it was good. It was really good, but it still wasn't the book. But like Hunger Games, I watched the movie first, so the movie's not bad to me.
Yeah, and that too, because I never read the Hunger Games series.
You done that?
Yeah, but so I read Ender's Game. I read that whole series before I saw the movie, and then when they put the movie out, they got Harrison Ford in the movie, and it's just like, man, it's not the book, yo. Like, that shit ain't the same, yo. Never heard of her. Mm-hmm.
Are you done with your coffee?
Yeah.
Well, you didn't have to rush to drink it. You want some? Or you got one?
Man. Oh, definitely. You gotta read that shit before you watch the movie. I mean, because like he tells in that autobiography, he tells so much about himself. It's hard to put all of that shit on the screen. Like you have to have a fucking 3.5 hour movie, and most audiences don't want to sit through that. Only very few movies go that route, like The Color Purple, Amistad, The Titanic. There's only few stories that really get that opportunity to go in depth, or something like The Lord of the Rings, where you have, you know, three-hour movies trying to tell one fucking story.
Oh yeah, historical movies. Although the Fred Hampton story I thought was pretty good.
Estas. Oh, I've heard of one of her books before. Women Who Run with Wolves. I think I've heard some. I don't know if someone had this book or someone was telling me about this book. Anyway, Myths and Stories of the Crystals of Creativity. The Creative Fire. Hey, your dog better watch out, yo. And she's a PhD. The Late Bloomer, How to Be an Elder. The Dangerous Old Woman. The Power of the Crone.
My dog thinks your dog is trying to creep up on you. You can just barely see Blue in the background. You know we talking about you? Oh, that was Bronx who said that. My dog thinks your dog is trying to creep up. The official studio mascot.
Wolves and women have been tarred with the same brush. They're supposed to be cunning and treacherous and untrustworthy. But the aspect of a wolf that the wild woman relies on is the idea of freedom, the idea of being unspoiled and having rhythms that are uninterrupted by overdoses of the intellect. So, bone by bone and hair by hair, through night dreams, through events half understood and half remembered, the wild woman comes back. And she comes back through stories. You see, it's told that there's a place in the desert where the spirit of women and the spirit of wolves meet across time. The Spanish land grant farmers and the Pueblo people of the Southwest tell stories about the bony people, the old ones who bring the dead back to life, They are said to restore both humans and animals. So here is the story of La Loba. There's an old woman who lives in a hidden place that everyone knows but few have ever seen.
Oh, she gonna talk me to sleep tonight, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say her voice is.
That is so soothing. Thanks for putting me up on that. I'm pretty sure, like, I don't know, I was in a conversation with somebody talking about books and authors, and somebody brought that up. The women who run with wolves, or run with the wolves, or something like that. I have heard of that before. Like you said, that was the first one you read, so that it must be one of her more well-known writings.
The women are running it though. Definitely running that shit right now.
Yeah, her voice is very soothing. A Bronx Tale.
We gotta find some other females then. We got Isabel, now this chick, and the chick I've been listening or reading, Dina Rainey Berry.
We are in charge now, so pull out whichever app you use to do live streaming video. Them up and running and point it at me. Now.
There's guys with guns everywhere.
Get down on the ground! Any more friends back?
That's crazy.
What's that?
It's a preview for a movie. They say the Run, Hide, Fight is the name
We've
of
been
it.
waiting for another good movie to come out.
So what is that, yo? Like the high school shooters? So it's like a gang of these motherfuckers. They come up in there, they kill a couple people, and they tell everybody else start filming this shit. Yo, go live on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, whatever you go live on, live stream this shit now, and they take over the school instead of just like doing some random shit. Damn, that shit crazy, yo.
Berry slippers in the UK?
I'm internationally known.
I see. It ain't just local famous, internationally
Is it
famous.
safe to say that this might be our guardian angel? Do you want more people to die at Celestia? I'm going to kill one person in this room every 5 minutes. Don't show your face. You have no idea who you're dealing with.
Isn't it? After all, you work hard for it. People aren't gonna remember you.
No?
They're gonna remember me.
Hello guys, Groftis here. In today's video I'll be covering the full translation of the engineer dialogue scene that was cut from Prometheus in the editing process. In the theatrical version, the engineer doesn't say a word after awakening. However, the Blu-ray edition contains an entire 2-minute conversation between the engineer, David, and Wayland. On top of that, one of the early draft scripts has a 5-page dialogue with the awakened engineer, which is fully translated in English and reveals many plot points that explain some of the mysteries of the movie.
Oh,
so first I'm going to go through the Blu-ray deleted scene, providing a translation of what the engineer and David said to each other. The linguist that was responsible for the engineer language actually gave an interview explaining what different lines meant. Then I'll cover the extended dialogue from the early draft script, which was eventually rewritten, and the conversation with the engineer was extensively reduced, probably because it revealed many themes of the movie in a really explicit way. This early draft script has much more information about the engineer lore and history, and I made a few videos about it, so you should definitely watch them if you haven't already. Lastly, I'll cover another early script with a different translation that actually explains why the engineer attacked David so violently. So let's
go over the bright colors of the city skyline. Did I bring my tablet up here too? I thought I brought. Yeah. So the guy sent me several pictures of what he had envisioned for this. Do I have that in my photos? that city skyline. Let me see, because I got some other pictures in here. So this is, I actually have it in my phone here.
Outside of Edensburg.
So this is the image he sent me. And he said he wanted it to look similar to this, which is,
That's so pretty.
you know, and so that's the first layer. So I want to like come back over this again and start adding some more colors to it and making it pop and brighter a little bit. So I'll be working on that for today.
I'm not gonna lie, he chose a lot, but he has some good choices.
Yeah. So he wants the
He made you work hard on that one.
Yeah, like I say, so he had all the characters he wants. And that was the layout he wants. And then that's me at the gym. Those are 40-pound weights. And then there's some more stuff he wants on it. All the universities and stuff he went to. So this is his high school. He went to this university. He went to this university. I guess he attended school here. And then this is like kind of the composition that I came up with originally, and asked him like, is this how, something like that. But he says he didn't want that city skyline, because he said I want the New Orleans skyline. So I started looking up like New Orleans skylines, and he was like, no. I want it to look cartoony like the cartoons that I sent you. And I'm like, how, Sway?
It's just like
how? And so then he sent me this. Is like, I want it to look like that. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm trying to accomplish this effect now.
You could definitely practice some calligraphy. Okay, here you go. I don't even know how it came up. It did. That's why I just started doing it.
But if you go to Procreate,
yeah, you're gonna need a charger too. Will that charger fit?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of graffiti-like skyline. Yeah.
If you go to
This is one of my favorite commissions.
Inking, there's calligraphy.
Because they have like tutorials, YouTube University. But I was gonna grab the kit because I want to be able to do it by hand.
I think this the one.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
But then you can like make a brush too. Oh, there was another one that was like more like a calligraphy one. This is a brush I made myself. I made a flat brush. Yeah, he says he wants it to be you know, whatever style this is. So definitely just want to make my customer happy. You know what I'm saying? So you can tell everybody, yo, this man did a fantastic job, and then, yo, what's up? What's good, bro? So you be like, yo, my man did a fantastic job, and I get more business from people he knows. I do too. I wanted to have that picture pulled up.
Nobody's feeling the Donda album. Now I gotta hear it.
The who?
Kanye?
Yeah.
They said it's just the gospel album. Don't expect anything else. And like I saw 4 people say that back to back.
Gospel album?
Yeah, I haven't seen one person say, "Oh yeah, that shit's hot."
I don't know why it does this shit sometimes. Shit, that whole retarded. For real though, bitch.
Oh, that's so nice, Furry. You do some auctions for charity? Furry said they do auctions for charity. That's really nice. You're a good person. What do you want, Bubba? It's cooler out there, ain't it? You went in that other room because the air was good, huh? Babe, this is a chick. This is the chick. Because at first I looked at it and I'm like, that's a guy. And I was like, wait.
No, that's a girl.
Why she looks so manly?
With the Blu-ray deleted scene, right after the breathing tubes detach from the engineer, Wayland says, "Speak to him, David. Tell him we came just like he asked," which directly refers to the multiple maps they found around the world that were perceived as an invitation. Then David addresses the engineer in the Proto-Indo-European language that he learned on his way to LV-223. There is actually a short scene in the beginning of the movie of him practicing this language while eating, and the guy on the screen is the real-life linguist Dr. Anil Biltel. He was a language consultant who composed all the lines in Proto-Indo-European for Prometheus, and in an interview he explained what David said to the engineer. So in the deleted scene, when the engineer speaks, David translates it back to Wayland, saying, "He asks you why you're here." Then Wayland tells David to tell the engineer the reason he wanted to meet him. According to the linguist, what David said can be directly translated as, "This man is here because he doesn't want to die. He believes you can give him more life." Asking the creator for more life heavily refers to another Ridley Scott movie, Blade Runner, specifically to the scene in which a replicant Roy asks Tyrell to extend his life. The engineer responds, and David translates it back to Wayland. "I told him you wanted to live forever." He asks why. Then we can see the excitement in Wayland's eyes as he explains why he deserves to live forever. You see this man, pointed to David. My company built him from nothing. I made him. I made him in my own image, so he would be perfect, so he would never fail. I deserve this because you and I, we are superior, we are creators, we are gods, and gods never die. Then the events unfold in the same way as in the movie, and according to one theory, the desire to live forever is the ultimate sin that made engineers try to send the deadly virus to Earth. Just like birth of a xenomorph requires sacrifice of a host, the engineer at the beginning of Prometheus sacrifices himself to give birth to humanity. However, Weyland's desire to live forever totally contradicts to this sacrifice-birth cycle, which seems to be at the core of the engineer's religion that has the deacon as its deity. Weyland's attempt to escape death signified to the engineers that humanity no longer follows the core principle of their beliefs, which is the sacrifice-birth cycle, and therefore humanity is no longer worthy of existence. That's one possible interpretation of the engineer's intentions. In fact, this Blu-ray deleted scene only had a few extra lines of dialogue that gave us a general sense of what the engineer was saying.
Y'all play nice.
I had just started as an engineer working on the International Space Station, and I remember thinking, how are we ever going to do this? How are we going to assemble something that's over a football field in length? It takes 52 computers just to operate it. And then I sat down with some really smart engineers, and I just thought, aha, there is a plan. And it starts with this.
On the other,
I know what filter this is. This is like some TikTok filter that turns you into an anime character. That's all it is. It makes you look like a cartoon. And so, I don't know, I'm just assuming that Furry Slippers is a female because this looks like an animated female face that's using that cartoon app that everyone else has used. Furry's been in my stream a lot and never say anything trollish to me. That's why nobody's blocked Furry before. Yeah, it's a Snapchat filter. It's not. So what? It just happens to make her look like the character from Frozen. Anyway, I don't know. It's all good. Like I say, Furry's been in here before today, and nobody's ever blocked him before, so. Because we don't play that shit, bro. I got moderators all around. Hey, how you and somebody else stream and they trolling you? That's crazy. This ain't even my stream and I'm getting trolled. That's wild. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Hey man, they just. I don't know. I got trolls. That's how popular you are, yo. Damn. Yeah, I got trolls. That's all good. Ain't got nothing else to do. How do I set this so it doesn't turn off? Settings, screen, oh, it's displaying brightness, auto lock. Never mind. Yo, that Roblox or whatever Melania was playing, yo, you can buy stock in that shit, yo.
Yeah.
I might have to buy some stock in Roblox. Cause how she just come here like, where's your tablet? I need to play Roblox. I'm like, okay. Is this what kids are on?
Yeah, they love that shit.
Yo, can you buy this Fortnite?
Probably.
That shit been going strong for like 10 years, yo. They phase me not.
I get called M-head.
Meathead, meth head, muscle head.
I hope that's muscle head and not meth head.
You muscle head. You meathead.
Trailer bomb. You might have a nice trailer.
You trailer. I lived in a modular home, a manufactured home. They call me meth head.
I call them meth head.
Well, you know, if you're not a meth head, then it shouldn't affect you at all. It doesn't matter what anyone calls you. It shouldn't matter. But if you are a meth head, then yeah, you know, just try not to look like a meth head.
As long as you don't get called a meth head trailer bum all in one, then you gotta fight.
That's a problem right there.
You meth head trailer bum?
What? Fuck you. My grandma left me this trailer.
I'm not a bum. Oh.
I'm called a C head.
Cause you like cake?
Cause you're a cunt?
We're giving you the benefit of the doubt here. You're not helping us give you the benefit of the doubt.
You're like Cookie Monster. You cookie head.
Mm-hmm. You cookie head.
You call me the M word.
Not a meth head.
The early Prometheus draft script has a much longer version of this conversation, and that's where things get really interesting, and we learn so much more about why engineers prepared this deadly virus for humans. This draft script has a 5-page conversation with the engineer, which was eventually reduced to just a few lines. So this passage reveals the original uncut dialogue that was sort of a foundation of many underlying themes of the movie. After they awaken the engineer, Wayland tells David, speak to him, David, tell him that we came just like he asked, which is also what we see in the movie. But then the lines that David says in the engineer language are written in English in the script. We come from the place far away that you and your kind were heading to. We found murals of your kind giving us directions and an invitation to come here to your homeworld. We are your creation. After hearing this, the engineer stands up, struggling to keep his balance. He responds in a nasty and insidious voice. This is not my homeworld. My homeworld is paradise. I did not ask your kind to come here. Why is your presence disturbing my atmosphere? What did he say, David?
I said I signed up to look at my discount. The sketchbooks are buy one, get one 50% off, and paper pads. Micron pen sets, buy one, get one 50% off. Colored pencils. Frames are buy one, get one free.
I'm definitely running out of white paint.
They have a 5-pack of canvases for the breaks too, for like a sip of paint or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I got to tell you guys a story. So I got invited to go on an artist retreat. Me and this lady would become friends, I guess, or acquaintances. We met at an art gallery here, a local art gallery called the Wyoming Valley Art League Circle Gallery. Pretty cool little spot. And we both had art in there, and we started talking, and then people always ask you what you do for a living so they can gauge how much respect to give you. Fortunately, I have like a okay sounding title for a pretty decent organization, and so once I told her like what I did as a living, she was like, "Oh, well, my company, because she owns a branding company, She said my company was responsible for changing your company's name from what it used to be to what it is now. And we came up with the new name, we came up with the colors and the logo for your company. I know them very well, and we worked close together for a year or so throughout that progress of rebranding our company. And that was before I even got there. So when I got there, it was already what it is now. But she said she handled that whole process. And so she's a businesswoman, she's an artist, and so we got a lot in common. And this was years ago, she said, "Oh, I'm gonna get you together with some other people I know." And then over the years, we've tried to have meetings and everything. Kind of, our schedules could never sync, and then COVID happened, and nothing happened for almost 2 years. And then this year, we started communicating again, and she said, "Oh, I really, really want you for real to come up this time to one of our meetings and, have some lunch with us or whatever." And so we actually made it up to this farm, this artist retreat farm that they have, and me and my girlfriend went, and we had like a breakfast with them and listened to some poetry and a artist conversation, and checked out some goats from the Bible, and looked at people's art stations and studio setups, and it was pretty fucking dope. And they said, "You know what, we do this like twice a year. The next one we have, you should come out here to the artist retreat and set up your art and just come out and paint with us for a week or whatever you want to work on, And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do that." And so I got the invitation, and the dates are set, and my spot is squared away and everything, and I'm like, fucking awesome. I got vacation time saved up so I can take, a week off of work if I want to for the entire thing, because it's going to go like from a Tuesday to a Monday. So if I wanted to, just take like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off and do that, then I could be there for the weekend, and then maybe that Monday. And so I was like, this is going to be pretty cool. And then I got an email that said, "Oh, to all the artists and guests who will be a part of this retreat this September, you have to be fully vaccinated, and you must take a COVID test the week prior to coming to the retreat." And I shall do neither. So I guess I'm gonna miss this fucking cool ass artist retreat, yo. And it's like, damn, because I really was like, really looking forward to this shit, yo.
It was such a nice place, too.
And like, it's like older artists, people who've been like creating for a while, and those are the people I tend to gravitate towards, because I need to pick their brains on how have you sustained your art career over the years. What's the audience, that you try to project your art towards, and how do you just keep at it, And I don't know. I thought it would be a great learning experience for me, an opportunity to have some great conversations, and once again just pick different artists' brain, because when we went there for breakfast, there was somebody from like Maine, and somebody came all the way up from Florida, and just to come to that retreat in like fucking PA. It's like, what the fuck? But I don't know. So they want everybody to have COVID tests, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm alright.
A vaccine and a COVID test.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. So I guess I'm gonna have to miss out on that shit. But it is what it is. So now the lady who went through all, because I didn't pay for this, and I think they said it's like $800 or $900. I'm not sure if it's only for the people who are staying there, because they do have it's like some really nice old houses just on this farm, yo. And I don't know. I guess just for their room and board and food and everything, and like whoever's gonna stay there has to pay. I don't know if everyone had to pay, but whatever. My spot was secured, and I
was
didn't.
about to say, they didn't ask for anything, but also I feel like we're gonna be providing shit for them too.
Yeah. But I definitely wasn't gonna kick out any money for it, so it's not like I'm losing anything really. But I make my own artist retreat.
I was gonna say, even with like the massage shit, they didn't say like, oh, we'll pay you, da-da-da-da. Like, no, you come here, you doing some shit, and that's what you get. We ain't gonna pay you, but you don't gotta pay us either.
Yeah.
And it was that older man who said that.
Alright, let's try to brighten up some of these colors on here. After that first layer, I want some brighter oranges and greens and blues. So I got more white on here, so I can brighten some things up that way. And then just some colors in general, I just use a brighter hue. Knew that was gonna happen.
To know why you're here. As you can see, David doesn't translate everything that the engineer says. Particularly, he doesn't tell Wayland that the engineer is not pleased by their arrival. It almost seems like David has a malicious intent, and by translating selected parts of the engineer's speech, he gives Wayland a false sense of security and hides the engineer's true intentions. David cannot lie, but by not telling Wayland the full translation, he does lie indirectly, which is another subtle way of showing David's sinister motives. Wayland, tell him I came for answers. Ask him why they created us, what is our purpose, and where did we come from. Ask him, David, ask him. David, we want to know why you created life on our planet, why did you create us, and what was our purpose? The engineer is breathing heavily. Even though these beings can live for hundreds of thousands of years, speaking can take away centuries of their lives. Just one sentence can drain them of energy. This can be noticed by the engineer's body and facial language. Then the engineer explains why they created life on Earth. Many worlds have been crafted by the hand of our fathers through the blood of our Lord. Yours was the only one that was successful. The star child of the universe. Yours is the only star child that is like our homeworld. Wayland, what is he saying? They made our planet perfect like theirs. Then, just like in the movie, the script describes a really important scene involving Shaw, which reveals Wayland's true nature. Shaw, David, ask him where they're from. David translates Shaw's message to the engineer, who never once takes his eyes off Shaw. Wayland, what are you doing? Shaw, ask him what's in his cargo. It killed his people. Wayland, Shaw, that's enough. For God's sake, shut her up, which is followed by Jackson hitting Shaw in the stomach. Shaw cries out and falls to her knees. The engineer is suddenly angered by the sight of violence. Shaw, you made it here and it was meant for us. Why? I need to know why. What did we do wrong? Why do you hate us? As David translates everything Shaw says, the engineer stands up and looks down upon Shaw. David finally finishes translating everything Shaw said. Wayland hits David to stop him. The engineer, angered by the hostility and tension surrounding him, explodes in a dramatic, almost Shakespearean display response to Shaw. Because of the complexity of its language, the reply takes nearly 3 minutes to complete, and the engineer looks violently exhausted during and after the speech. Kate, we gave you this emotion. We gave you all the emotion we had expected not of your evolution. We took care of you, gave you fire, built your structures. We gave you Eden. You worshipped us. We praised our creation from above. We watched you time and time again kill each other, start wars. We came back and saved your souls, but we left you to make your own fate. But your kind is a barbaric, violent species. We tried once more to save you. We took a mother's child back to paradise and educated him. We taught him the meaning of life and creation. We put him back into Eden to educate your kind, but your kind decided to punish him. We gave you the fruits of life, and you repay us by leaving it to rot. You talk to me of hate, prepare for rapture.
So suppose they just send you
Is that Enoch?
This is kind of awesome.
and this thing is jammed.
David.
So the story of Enoch is that he walked with the gods and he was taught all the fucking knowledge and shit. I don't know, this was Prometheus was a good fucking movie.
It was.
I had moved the PlayStation setup because I had a lot of people in the studio. Normally I have it sitting on a stool here so that the camera can reach further. But I probably won't do that. I won't put it back, but I will move the camera up a little bit because I'm going to paint for at least an hour. I've been in here for almost 2 hours not doing anything. Other than
You're entertaining your fans.
yeah, eating and talking and getting my palette ready. So everything is ready now, so I can actually paint. Well, let me make sure I have some medium in there. Okay, we got some of that. We got brushes. Alright, so I can actually paint on it. Yeah, I bought this little tiny wire brush.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where I put it? Do you see that anywhere? No? No?
A wire brush.
It's like it's a black little brush. It's like a big ass fucking toothbrush.
In here?
I don't know if I brought it all the way up here or not.
My goodness. Phone is going up.
So I got this nice little wire brush to help keep my brushes nice and together and shit. Oh yeah, that works perfectly. Just what I was hoping for. Alright, so let's see how close can we get to this. gotta grab the tablet that fell on the floor. Alright, got this here.
Sir, he said, Wayland, I don't care. Now continue. Tell him why I came, and only translate whatever I say and no one else. David, this man is here because he doesn't want to die. He believes you can give him eternal life. Then the engineer responds, Your kind is not worthy of this. What makes you think I shall give you this prize? Tell me, why? David translates it back to Wayland. I told him you wanted to live forever. He asked why. Wayland approaches the engineer and gives the exact same speech we hear in the deleted scene, basically saying that he created David, which makes him superior and equal to engineers, therefore equal to gods who should live forever. Then the events unfold in the same way as in the movie. The engineer looks at David, examines him with curiosity and admiration, but then he rips off his head and proceeds to kill the crew. As the engineer explicitly said in the script, he refused giving Wayland eternal life because, according to him, humanity was unworthy of that. In fact, Wayland seems to be the embodiment of humanity's sins, and the engineer sort of rejects the entire human race by attacking Wayland. Another possible interpretation of the engineer's speech might be that by saying, we gave you Eden, he means Earth in its natural condition, perfectly made for humans to live in. At first, people lived in harmony with nature and themselves, worshipping their gods and accepting the natural cycle of life and death. But as humans developed more advanced skills and technologies, they started becoming greedy, caused violence and wars. Consequently, humans wanted to become just like gods in their ability to create life themselves and escape death, which is exemplified by Wayland, who traveled light years away from Earth to ask engineers for more life, while being accompanied by an artificial human, David, that he created. Another really interesting part is when the engineer said, we tried once more to save you. We took a mother's child back to paradise and educated him, taught him the meaning of life and creation. We put him back into Eden to educate your kind, but your kind decided to punish him. In these lines, the engineer refers to Jesus, implying that he was taken to the engineer homeworld to learn about proper principles of living, so that later he could return and bring the humanity on the right path. However, the engineer also says, but your kind decided to punish him, which refers to the Jesus crucifixion that happened about 2,000 years ago, at the same time when the engineers almost sent the deadly virus to Earth. So, according to the script, after the last and failed attempt to get the humanity on the right path with Jesus, engineers deemed humans a violent species and almost launched the deadly pathogen to end their creation.
Well, why did they just fucking teach the humans instead of just taking one person back?
Early script in which this scene of the engineer awakening is totally different, and I'll probably make a separate video about that script since it has many elements that are totally different from the movie. Contrary to the previous script, the dialogue between David and the engineer wasn't translated. However, in later scenes, David told Shaw what he said to the engineer. In that script, Shaw was named Watts, and a few moments before David died, he told Elizabeth the following. David, I spoke to him. Watts, I know. An electric spasm convulses his face. David, he said I killed him. He'll die. But first, he'll launch the ship. So, according to David, the awakening of the engineer would cause his death, which is why he specifically attacked David, who brought him out of hypersleep. Later in that script, the engineer launches the Juggernaut to Earth. However, as he's taking off, an alien erupts from his chest and through the pilot chair suit, which ultimately kills him. It looks like the engineer was infected with the pathogen or was impregnated with the alien embryo, just like all the other ones found in the temple. He decided to go to hypersleep so that the embryo wouldn't grow, and he was hoping that other engineers would wake him up and remove an alien from his chest. This sequence of events in which an alien erupts from the pilot leading to the ship crash perfectly connects to the original Alien of 1979, where the crew finds a fossilized space jockey with the hole in his chest inside of a crashed Juggernaut. Based on the information in that script, it is also possible that the deacon that came out of the engineer at the end of Prometheus was growing inside of him even before the awakening. Since in the movie the engineer attacks David just like in the script, maybe the engineer had an embryo inside of him too, and the trilobite simply killed him without impregnating. What do you guys think about these translations of the engineer dialogue, and do you think they should have included them in some way in the movie? Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video gave you some new insights about Prometheus that you didn't know before. Check out my other videos if you want to learn more about early scripts and engineers' origins. Also, like this video if you
Hey, babe, can you come in here? I need you to check something out.
My name is Robert Neville. I'm a survivor living in New York City. If there's anybody out there, please, you are not alone.
New York. Washington, D.C. People are afraid.
I can't tell what you're more afraid of. What you will find. Or what you won't.
There were 6 billion people on Earth when infection hit. KV had a 90% kill rate. That's 5.4 billion people dead.
You are not alone.
Do you know of any other survivor?
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Tell us how you really feel.
Calm down. Obi Trice? What happened to that nigga? Where are they now? He used to rap with Eminem, man.
Who are you? You look vaguely familiar. I look stunning. As you know, that familiar, though. Your hair.
गिरेगा खामखा पैसे नहीं मिल रहे मुझसे.
Tribal people try soul food for the first time.
सोल पॉट
मरो हकीकत है कि ना अंग्रेजी न थे रचता
पता नहीं क्या है.
अमेरिका में रहने वाले अफ्रीकन लोगों ने इसको मुतारिफ करवाया. बहुत साल पहले अफ्रीका से लोगों को गुलाम के तौर पर अमेरिका लाया करते थे और उनकी तजारत करते.
ये मानव के कड़े बे मुल्क में रहते हैं. तो ये गलत है ना. मानव इंसान के छोटा होता है.
अफ्रीका के लोगों के कुछ मखसूस खाने थे क्योंकि अमेरिकन को भी पसंद.
लेकिन जैसे मुझे किसी ने खरीदा, अभी जो मुझे आता था वो मैंने बना दिया. मेरी डिश उनको पसंद आई और ये इधर से मुतारिफ हो गया.
जी बिल्कुल. तो उन खानों को कहते हैं सोल.
जी मुझे आसान ये खबर पड़ी. चल अभी लेके आओ.
It's like they used. Why would somebody sell each other? Like what the fuck?
कौन
Cornbread.
आप बताएं.
कॉर्न मतलब मकई.
मक्का जो थे
तो देखने में वैसे माशाल्लाह है, खूबसूरत है. इन लोगों ने थोड़ा सा घी डाला हुआ है या मक्खन डाला हुआ है, पीला हो गया बेचारा.
काम करते थे. सुबह ये बनाते थे काले में लपेट ये साथ ले जाते.
मजबूरी अदालत है कि मजबूर नहीं बंदा होगा ज़रूरी का चांद का शेर
खुशबू इसकी ऐसी लगी. अच्छा हाँ हम आप मैं उनसे करो बेचारे. जी नाज़रीन, मैं ट्राई करूँ जब तक हमारे चैनल को लाइक करें, सब्सक्राइब करें, बेल का बटन दबाएं.
लेट्स ट्राई.
बनने में के हिसाब से लग रहा है जैसे मीठा. खाने में मीठा नहीं. बिल्कुल सही है. ना तो मिठुआ है ना तो चकुआ. सही है.
अभी आगे नहीं जा रहा है.
और खास्तानी का स्टोरी इतना अल्लाह बड़ा मक्कई ये सुना बड़ा कुट्टाना तसीका बड़ा निशाना बड़ा पूर्ण तेरा हाई मसला अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह. ये मिला जो ये चीज़ बड़ा सन
वो ॾाढी है थी नी जॾहिं ठाहींदी हुई. हाणे केरु ठाहे. केरु उहो अटो वठी अचे, केरु पचाए. चवंदा आहिनि ॿुधाईंदा अचे मासी मकाई जो अटो ॻोहे पोइ कपिड़े में हिकिड़े में रखी पोइ ठाहींदा.
पानी देखे दिया वैसे नहीं जा रहा था.
मजबूरी में बंदा खा ले लेकिन पेट इससे मेरे हिसाब से तो नहीं भरेगा.
पेट भरने के लिए तो कुछ ना कुछ तो करना पड़ता है ना. तो मैं समझता हूँ एक अच्छी ग़िज़ा पेट भरने के लिए. ये नरम है, बूढ़ों के लिए ज़बरदस्त होता है. तो बूढ़े इतने शौक से खाएंगे ना, आप रखते जाओ बातें करते हुए, आपको दिलासा देते हुए ये सारा चट कर जाए.
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह. बाद की
हाँ ॾाढो सुठो आहे. VIP
लेकर आ जाए.
Fried chicken. This shit ain't hot though.
इसका नाम है फ्राइड चिकन.
फ्राइड चिकन.
पुराने लोग जैसे कि नानियाँ दादियाँ आज भी अपने बच्चों के लिए ये शौक से बनाती हैं.
शाबाश उन नानियों को. हमारी नानियाँ सुस्त थे, हमारे मम्मियाँ तैयार करके उनको दें.
मकारकस पूरे थे ये खाने वाला खाया नशे की तो खास कर दो.
एक का चीज रख ले खाने में इच्छा को ऐसा दिल चाहूंगी.
ये तो टांग उठाएं और खाना शुरू करें.
तू ना बड़ा टांग उठाए.
मुर्गी की पीवा.
थोड़ी ना मगाना देखी कोनी बिताना चाह लगे पकान चाह कोई ना खराब.
गरम है. वाह.
और मुझे इसमें लग रहा है हल्की हल्की मिर्ची भी है. लग रहा है नमक भी है तो गोश्त भी है तो और भी मजा कर रहा है.
इतना मजेदार मैंने नहीं देखा भाई.
He said I never had anything this tasty.
ये लाइक बात भी थी.
Country chicken tastes way better. They're way healthier and the meat is less harder than these. The meat is like cotton. It's flavorful. It's tasty. It's good. It's amazing. Delicious. Very tasty. I love this fried chicken shit. What is this soul food shit? Yo, these are like native West Indian people, yo, eating fucking soul food. So they had cornbread so far. A few of them like the cornbread. Some said my grandmother made this.
Super excellent. Very good.
Super excellent, very good, really tasty. It's amazing. Number one, yo. All of them. Everybody love the fucking fried chicken, yo.
Fried chicken dari VIP dari City.
Very great VIP, yo.
Stage by.
A lot of people got
Fetch
certain
water.
stuff, but I don't think anybody cooks soul food better than
Mac and
Black
cheese,
American,
yo. They got the baked mac and cheese too, yo. Not the soupy shit off the top of the stove.
Yeah, mac and cheese.
And let me say this,
Mac
nobody
and
cooks
cheese.
soul food
Mac
better than
and
people from down south.
समंदर के करीब पथरीला पहाड़ नहीं होता उसी की तरह लग रहा है.
It's good, superb. And I think it's very simple dish. I like it because I think it's made of corn flour. It's not spicy, but a little salty. I can taste saltiness in it. I once ate that yellow cheese. Tastes exactly like this. Goat's fat looks like whatever. And my laptop died because I don't know why this shit isn't fucking charging, yo. It does that sometimes. Like, I can get it to charge, but then as soon as you unplug it and try to use that shit somewhere else, like it won't want to start charging again. That shit just completely died just now. While I was having so much fun listening to the Afghans and Arabs talk about how much they love mac and cheese, yo.
Oh, that's what they liked in particular?
That was no, the first one. Everybody loved the fucking fried chicken. Then they moved to the next dish. So that was the.
Everybody loves fried chicken.
That was the third dish. So they did cornbread, fried chicken, mac and cheese. Everybody liked mac and cheese, and then I was wanting to see what was coming next. What you gonna give them next? What's another good soul food dish? Some collard greens and turkey parts. Some peach cobbler and ice cream. Don't hit them with that shit. Motherfucker won't never go back to Afghanistan.
Go over here and get you a black plate, man.
I don't have fans, yo. I got homies who support my channel. It's a difference.
What? It's definitely entertaining. We haven't had trolls in a while.
Yeah, it's not really trolling, just asking stupid questions.
Yeah, I thought somebody was trolling.
No, he just nobody comments. Where are your fans? And it's not. It's I don't know. People don't really like this part. They don't like the Bob Ross part of the show. Which is this is the main part of the show. Like, oh, he's not in front of the camera talking anymore. I'm out. This guy's just fucking painting. And so, I mean, for the simple fact that you're here, still engaged while I'm painting, means you are a special type of viewer. You know, you're here for the meaty, the substance part.
That's why we have you to comment.
Yeah. So we talk to you after you say something. So, like I said, I don't have just viewers who comment. So thanks for commenting, bro. Asking like questions and shit. You know.
I thought that was the person that was trolling the other person.
I'm gonna look at this laptop in 1 second and see if I can figure out how I can get this shit to charge again. Alright. It's always something, you know? You just gotta expect that in life, man. It's always gonna be something. You're gonna have a flat tire, your laptop gonna just die on you. It just be some shit sometimes, right? Fuck! It's just like, fuck! Then what do you do about it? You just, hey, just fix that shit, man. Keep pushing, bro. What you gonna do? Huh? Cuss the universe out? That motherfucker don't care. Fuck you, Cosmos! That shit just echo that shit back. Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
Then a rain cloud just burst open.
And then, like,
what did you say about the Cosmos, nigga? I take it back.
Oh, you thought you was having a bad day? Here's some other shit.
And the truck's gonna go by on the puddle.
Splash.
Yo, I saw that happen to somebody before.
Oh
I thought that
God.
shit only happened in movies.
So I figure I use a little bit of this palette knife, add a little contrast in some of the areas. I'm gonna jump into some oranges and purples next. Let's see what's up with this damn laptop. Shit probably made in Korea.
Kaya ka makapesa na yun, yun na naman siya. You're right.
Maybe if I shut it down and restart it, it'll recognize the charge. I got to do this real quick.
Jay Boozy said, yo, what's good? He said, what up, Boozy? Bathroom break time. He's having some technical difficulties with his laptop. Oh my God.
What's good, bro? What you getting into today? It's nothing but coffee.
Good. But I just drank the drink this morning.
Yo, I don't understand like why this fucking laptop is not recognizing the fucking charger.
Might as well just plug one of our phones in.
I'm just gonna connect my phone to the speaker, I guess, or you can connect your phone to it.
You put it on charger. Well, I put it on charger. What's good for now? What do you want to hear?
I don't know.
Let's see. The Sonar Network, a one-of-a-kind podcast featuring the funny and the fascinating. Listen to a podcast, that's different.
We're gonna be here for like another 35 minutes, then we need to go wash our cars, and I'm playing video games today.
Yeah. Not a problem. I'm cooking and doing work today. What is it we're calling? Oh, PBX. Let's try this Sonar Network on. Killed to death?
That's normally what happens when you get killed. You die from it.
The improvised true crime podcast. Every week, one case is analyzed and solved with help of guests. So the Sonar Network is just like pulling from other places, or?
You see those little things the little calendar shit that I be posting? Yo, this dude Jim at work has the coolest calendar about murderers and serial killers and all crazy kind of cold cases and shit. Missing person files.
That's pretty good. We're gonna do this one because this is an artist that finds his model deceased during the summer fair. Yeah, so.
The artist found the model.
Yep.
Damn. I photographed her one time.
Forbes and Tonky Wonk.
Wow. I don't ever want to find a dead body of anybody I've fucking painted or modeled like.
Scenarios are based on any real life events. Everything is made up entirely on the spot.
Oh,
take it away, song. We used to, I think, sing it for our New Year's episodes.
I think so, but now we're singing it for a different reason. It's because it's a birthday episode. To hang out down by the crypt.
The crypt?
Like a clue for the next one or something.
There are certainly mystifying things carved into the gun handles. I will give you that. But I don't know if they're clues. I never seek them out. I never follow the clues.
Right.
I don't know what they mean.
Maybe these were all set up years ago and you've just been slowly
Sounds like
finding
Good
them.
Sunday.
You should have been finding them long ago.
Sure. Yeah, I would assume that's the case. Steve, let's
what you had?
blow
I had
through
French
these
toast,
next two.
sausage,
Yep,
oranges,
and that's,
grapes, and
easy.
eggs.
This one's an easy one. For your 20th birthday, you were obviously left your great uncle's mansion. You had to spend the night in it.
That's
It was
right.
haunted, but you got it.
Yeah.
I got it. This
Good morning,
was later made into a movie.
Yes. when they cast Eddie Murphy as you.
Yeah, he does a great job. That's exactly what I was like when I was 20.
He nails you.
And number
Number
one
one.
favorite gift is when I made that potion for myself that turned me from buddy love into that, or yeah, it turned me from that, weird old professor that I was into buddy love. They
Yeah.
later, of course, made a movie about that. Steve, speaking of, you know what? You know how ghosts get into a haunted mansion?
By death.
Steve, speaking of, would you like to solve a murder?
Sure do.
The victim, Rex, found dead at a booth. Today's guest, Pete Lee Toppins, caricature artist who found the body. Pete Lee, hello.
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 Thanks for having me on.
Having me.
Boy.
I've got to be honest, never done a podcast before.
I don't think this is real accent.
Yeah, pretty excited to be here under, of course, deathly circumstances. Don't like that. But didn't like it. Still don't like it. They don't know who did it. I didn't do it. That's what I know.
Me neither, Steve.
Oh, yeah. I didn't do it either.
Perfect. Sounds likely. Bit of
Are you coming for me, Pete, already?
No, just a bit of an immigrant humor,
Where are you from?
Originally from Australia, and then I moved to England. So that's why I've got a bit of a topsy-turvy accent, you know what I'm saying?
Sure, what an interesting life.
It was. I grew up in a cattle farm in South Wales.
Did you say kettle?
Australian and English at the same
Yes,
time.
Like Boyle's tea?
That's why he said that, because he can't figure out which one to
it'd be
use.
tough to eat.
Yeah.
Kettle
He
is
drags
in
like the Australians,
like
but he
steak
speaks
and
like
stuff.
the English.
Oh, sure.
Okay, and then grew up on a cattle farm, and then moved to England when I was a wee lad.
Lick your
And
bits all day.
then came a bit of a shoe shine, chimney sweep, bit of a combo there. Then eventually, as I was a kid, realized didn't have much of a future with the chimney thing because I was growing
Yeah,
bigger.
this is
you know
what my
I mean?
client ordered.
Chimney
I'm
is
giving my client what they asked for, bro.
So I started
client asked for
drawing
plus
with
more.
the hands
Bringing that
because
shit
they
to
were
life.
covered in ash er day.
I don't know what
Did
you're
you
talking
spend
about,
any
you
time in
family, but
Ireland?
We don't lick bits over here.
Yes. Lo, I did. Sure did. Yes, I did. Dublin, matter of fact.
Dublin.
So after I figured
I'm
out
so
I could
bad.
draw with the ash in my hands, I would go around to people's fireplaces, get my hands all dirty, and offer to draw a bit of a mural on the outside. And I did that.
Did many people want a mural of dirty charcoal on the side of their house?
Two.
Two.
Oh, 2 people wanted that.
Yeah, that was my
Wow.
first big bucks because I charged a half penny back then, and made quite a killing, if I do say so myself. You know what I mean?
So you ended up with a full penny in total.
Yes. Exactly.
Wow.
And
Yep,
that's
there's Doug
the
Funny on the
penny I
skateboard.
used to come over here to the New World.
That would get you a boat ticket back then.
That's right. And for the last 40-odd years, I've been making my living as a caricature artist.
Are you a by the beach guy? That seems to be the classic spot for him.
No. I know the beach guys, not my scene, personally. I'm more of a bit of a fair and market guy, so I go where the events are. The summer's my big time, you know?
Right, yeah, of course. So you must go all around rural Ontario.
Ah, yes, I would if I had a car, but I don't, so I stick to Toronto.
Oh, so the Toronto Fair is...
Yeah, wherever the TTC can take me, and wherever, say, like Little Portugal's having its thing, or say St. Lawrence Market's doing a fish thing, you know, I'm there. You know, the Christmas fair, not the one down at the distillery, that's too big for my britches. More like the Christmas fair in East York.
Well, so the winter, I guess Christmas fair, but you know, probably a lesser time. Everyone's all shuttered up in their homes, and do you do something else to fill the time?
Yes, during the winter months, I go back to my
What?
roots because, of course, that's when people have the fires going. So I get in there with the fireplace. But yeah, in the winter months, well, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask about the job of caricature artist itself. I mean,
Yeah.
from what I know, it's like, is it insulting pictures of people?
Oh, some people think so. I don't. I think you try and take a feature and exaggerate it. Of course, you got to make your penny.
Profanity, you
But
gotta get put in timeout.
it's not
prices
just
have gone up.
Oh yes.
You're charging a penny now.
Oh, full. I mean, it's a bit of a figure of speech, so to speak. I charge $42 now. It's got
Some people just want attention so bad.
which
though, like,
is cheaper
this-
than the
We
rich
already
folks,
acknowledged
you know what I
you
mean?
said
Okay.
something about
So,
making picks.
the thing
We
is that
see
when you
you, bro. We know
exaggerate-
you're here in the stream.
Okay.
Okay.
When you
We're
exaggerate
happy
a
that we're
feature,
acknowledging
it's gotta
the
be-
comments that you're
You
making.
gotta do it with love,
Next time
you
you're not
know?
gonna get
It
acknowledged,
can't just
you're
be,
not gonna be able to come.
this bloke's got a
pretty
big
good.
nose, I'll make him
Want
have a
somebody
bigger
to reply
nose.
to
So it's
this.
like this bloke's got a big nose. How would he look
Come up in here
with a
killing
big
the
nose
vibes on a
and
good Sunday,
fire
okay?
hat?
And a what?
A
Fireman's hat?
Yeah, you got me.
Oh,
a fire
yeah.
hat, yeah.
So
maybe
it's not so much exaggerating someone's
I feel like
feature
they're all
as
really high
adding a
shit.
totally new, different feature that they didn't have.
you got
And
me.
the nose is bigger.
You got me guilty
You know what I
as
just
guilty
realized
as
there?
charged, not for the murder though.
Just painting matches
Oh, yeah.
with that rainbow shit.
And
down
I didn't
there.
do it.
I did not do it. I'm totally clear. I didn't even know the guy.
Likely story. Sorry.
So,
bit
can
of an
we do a
immigrant
little
joke.
experiment here? I know you can't really draw in an audio medium, but could you describe what you would do to me and Steve, picture-wise?
Yeah,
Ooh.
of course.
Do you ever do two people in one picture?
Oh, all
You
the
get
time.
them together?
Oh, I've done a lot of twosomes, a lot of threesomes. You know what I mean? Just picture-wise, I'm not too adventurous in the sexual world myself. So, for you,
What the fuck?
Griffin, obviously you've got this big honking mustache. It's real nice, but it's your ears that are. But I can see they'd be the real flappers that I concentrate on. You ever seen Dumbo?
I know the guy. I don't think I've ever seen the movie, but I know what he's like.
Right. So that's what I do. I draw you with a bit of a bigger nose, but ears coming out. Maybe you're a bit of a pilot because your ears are helping you fly. You know what I mean? That's what I got. How do you like
Okay,
it?
so I get a hat.
Okay, maybe. Yeah, a pilot's hat and huge ears that help you fly. I mean, I feel like you're just a bit reductive. You know what I mean? Just a hat.
No, I mean it's a brilliant
Yeah.
thought.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Okay, that's really good. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
good,
it's
that's
not
great.
always insulting. That was actually very nice.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You know, big flappy ears flying you around, but you got a pilot's hat on with your mustache. Everyone's like, that's a sexy pilot who can fly himself.
What would you do for Steve?
Let's say I was also in this picture.
Oh yeah, so you'd probably be right beside him now, Steve. You're an handsome guy, so I'd probably exaggerate that feature, and I'd draw you as a mouse.
It's like a Mickey Mouse hat.
Stare the elephant.
No, just a mouse. So you'd be flying there with the big ears and a mustache, and then maybe the mouse is falling out of the sky. You know what I mean? It's like flying beside you, like wow, but it's a mouse. And everyone,
So it's
but I tell you, everyone look at that picture and go, oh, that's Steve. That mouse is Steve right there.
Because you've exaggerated the handsomeness.
yeah, right down to a mouse.
100%. Yeah, the definitely the people will be like, that's an answer mouse, and that's answer mouse's Steve.
So tell us
And
about.
that'd be $42, I guess.
Yeah, $42 each.
No, twosome is 60.
Each
That's
or
a deal.
together?
Together. It's cheaper.
Okay.
Yeah. But a threesome goes up to 180. Wow. Mostly because it's prohibitive. I don't like drawn threesomes. Everyone yaks too much.
Right. You prefer silence. You don't want to hear anything about their life.
Please don't disturb the artist. I'll come up with my own ideas for the hats, not you.
So you admit it's a lot of a hat face.
Again, it's a bit reductive, handsome Steve.
You said it yourself just now that you like to think of the hat, so.
Yeah, but it's more than that. It's inspiration. It's what I see in you.
Right. Or
That br-
guess what's under the headphones.
Yeah, exactly. What I see or guess about you inspires the act that makes you who you are.
Or I'm a mouse.
Yeah. God, it's
Okay.
like explaining
Super
it to a brick
585
wall.
says, hi guys.
Let's
Yo,
talk
what
about
up?
Rex then.
Oh, yeah. Tragedy, that was.
Hope you're not a super
What fair is
virgin
this?
forever.
Great question. This was, of course, this is the summer fair down at the lakeshore.
Because the guy is
Everyone
black,
knows it.
so it's weird.
But
So
it's only, and of course,
these
at
are all
the,
white characters.
in the junction.
Oh, I paused my thing.
It's the
I'm
summer
thinking
fair
it.
in the jungle.
So this is my client is black, and so Gerald is the only black character up here, but he wants all the other characters that have black skin tone, so that they don't look like they're white characters. So I guess that's why he didn't pick Arnold. Since that wasn't even his show, it was Hey Arnold, but he'd rather have Gerald up there. So I don't know. And Chucky wasn't the lead from.
And there was Susie. Susie was black.
Yeah, but he's a guy.
Yeah, I guess.
And so this isn't.
Yeah, Rocket Power.
This isn't Charlie Brown or Snoopy, and this isn't fucking Tommy Pickles, and this isn't like George Jetson. Like I don't know, Doug. Doug is the only one that's actually the main character from the show.
We all love Doug, though. Can't even lie.
Yeah, Doug Funny was funny as shit. And he could have used his homeboy Skeeter Valentine, because Skeeter was like purple at least.
That's what I was thinking. Like, well, why did he? Because I love that he went with what's his name? Arnold's friend. I can't think of his name.
Gerald.
Gerald.
Yeah, so he selected the characters, and Lou, what it do? And yeah, I don't know. This definitely means something to him. It has a very special meaning to the client, and so that's the only person who really has to understand this shit, yo.
Once again, them colors are popping, so.
I'm thirsty now. I need I don't have any more ginger beers up here, do I?
Yep, you got Angry Orchard or ginger beer.
Let me get that ginger beer.
Or snake bites. Kirsty in game said hi from Wales.
Hey, all the way from Wales. What's up, guys? Yo, pop over to my Instagram real quick, everybody. My Instagram is at the info bar at the bottom of the screen. Paintings by the Prince. If you guys go over there, you can check out tons of art, yo. I'm always posting some really cool stuff. And plus, in a second, I can pull the camera back and show you guys other pieces of art that I'm currently working on here in the studio. But this is a commission piece, so this is already bought and sold. This is not for me. This isn't even my own idea. My client has actually come up with the character layout, the background layout, the color selection, and everything the way that they want it to be. And I'm just trying to make their vision come to life by adding all these different elements and aspects together. And so, just trying to work on this background a little bit to make some of these colors pop a little more. And I'm using my palette knife to get this effect that I want on it. Really? Yo, Furry Slippers was just in here earlier. That's pretty dope. You should share that with me. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Share that on my Instagram, yo. I'll definitely check that out. You want to finish playing that?
Junction, which is it's usually not.
It's as close as you can get to the lake in the junction.
Okay, so South Junction.
Okay.
South
Very
Junction,
South
and
Junction.
from the park that they hold it, you can stand on a hill and see the lake.
Wow.
Okay, that's Lakeshore.
Yeah, so it's a nice little thing, about 6 or 7 booths. Usually about 20 or 30 people show up.
Wow.
I walked away with a good $126 that day.
Okay, so you did two sittings and then got a tip?
Yes, most people would have thought I did 3 straight singles at 42 each, but I did 2 two-sits for 60
damn.
each and got a tip.
No, oh wow, I didn't. Just because I can't do math like that, I didn't even think of it as a possibility.
No, it was a possibility, but you were right. I got a nice tip for the last lad, and I'm thinking the day would have been even more if Rex had shown up.
So you were going to also do Rex that day, but you never got it done.
Well, I take exception to that. I got it done, but then he got done, if you know what I mean.
He didn't pay.
Well, no, he was dead at the point, so...
Right.
At what point during the drawing did this death occur?
It happened after the drawing. See, with my drawings, my big draw, besides the ads and the inspiration, is I also put them in a bit of a grill, which gives the photos a bit of a faded and burnt look, but it's unique, you know what I mean? So it's like you'd find like at a sandwich place, like a ciabatta or something like that. So then when I went to put his picture into the ciabatta grill, came back, he's dead.
Wow. Now, this is really good for us, because I'm hoping that you accidentally, clues that were going on at him at the time.
Wow,
that's true.
I did.
Do you still have the picture?
I do. I got it right in front of me right now. The police asked her for evidence, and I said, I don't know what you're talking about.
Smart.
Yeah, that's right. I read it on a lot of different blogs. You never talk to the coppers.
No. The Yard?
What?
The short form? Scotland
Yeah,
Yard.
Scotland Yard. The Bobbies.
Yes, right. The Bobbies of Scotland. If you'll remember, I was only in England from about 9 to 11 before I moved on to Dublin. So
But you were a street scamp, so I feel like you probably were chased by a few bobbies with their little drumstick.
Oh yeah, their drumsticks.
Yeah, drumstick-shaped little batons.
They do a little beat on your head.
Yeah.
Well, hello. Haven't you been up cozy with the bobbies then, haven't you?
Is that a question to Steve?
Yes, that was a question for
Okay.
Steve.
Oh, am I cozy up with the bobbies? No.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah, ABAB.
That's what they say in the UK.
Just
And,
one.
Yeah.
I agree.
Now look, the thing that got me most about Rexy here, he was a big banker for Texas. One of those like he wears a big mostly white cream-colored suit with a bolo tie and a big 10-gallon hat. And
Yeah.
he's like,
Cool.
You listen to me, Sonny. I'm worth a lot of money. You better do a drawing that's not insulting and it's just funny, and my wife and kids better like it. Goes on about this. I mean, I get these all sorts, I've had this kind of gruff attitude before, but when they see what I got, they melt like putty in my hands anyway.
So he was already upset. He was like, you better draw a funny picture of me that isn't insulting.
Yeah, right out the gate. Like, he's obviously one of those guys who's like, I'm in charge, people do things my way, and you better do it my way or you're in trouble.
Now, he's already got, it sounds like at this point, a goofy hat.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's tough
Are
for
you
you.
going to give him a different hat? What was your strategy?
I can't help but feel you guys are really focusing in on the ads here, and it feels, again, reductive to what I do, I don't just add an ad to people. I add...
Well, in this case, you take away a hat and then add the hat.
You got a lot of trolls following you, Furry.
I gotta be honest, I could see why you'd be up and close with the bobbies. Quite frustrating.
Well, yeah, I was a bit of also a scamp, Griffin and I, in our younger years, sometimes we'd wander and trespass into the.
We sold frog piss.
That's true. We also sold frog piss.
As a lemonade. No wonder you had a date with the coppers. Not to mention finding all those semi-automatics in the ditch. I mean, finding one, okay, but two? What are the likelihood? Both on your birthday?
Birthday
No,
presents.
someone set up an elaborate scheme where they want to pin me with a bunch of guns. It's fine.
It's a long con, though. I don't think it's going to come to fruition for a long time.
Oh, but when they catch you, man, be careful.
So, Rex comes in. I'm assuming you've never met him before.
No, never met Rex. I don't hang out with Texans. Absolutely not.
How do you know he's from Texas? Because you said you didn't really like to socialize with your patrons, but he seemed like a talker.
Oh, wow. Asking
Get
the
that
tough
bottle
questions.
opener
Oh,
off the
yeah.
side of the fridge?
I mean, he had that look about him that, like, as soon as he sat down and started telling me that, I'm like, I'm going to get yacked in my ear. There's nothing I can do. But it's a real bit of a tawny time. Tawny turny time. That's what we call it in the caricature world.
What was it?
It's in the biz, we call it a tawny turny time. It's where somebody's yakking your ear off. You're just trying to do the draw and get out of there as quick as you can, but you can't because they're all tawning your ear off, you know?
Yeah, we have the same lingo in the podcast business.
Would you say this podcast is a tawny turvy time?
We would never.
Thank you.
Not on air.
I'm glad.
And I would hope our listeners would not either. We always like to see a nice review on iTunes.
That's true. Leave 5 stars and tell us what a nice time it was instead.
No, yeah, you boys are good. No tawny turvy times here. That's for sure.
So he's talking to you the whole time. He says something about his wife and kids. Are they there with him?
No, they're back in just outside of Dallas, is what he says. Dallas, and he says it just like that. I'm from Dallas. I think I got the accent right. That sounds right?
Yeah, you've been flawless so far.
Thank you for my flawless, perfect English, Irish, Australian accent. So the thing is, now he's jabbing my ear off about how this has got to be just right for his wife and kids back in DLS. So I'm trying not to pay attention, but as I said, and as you mentioned, I do try and incorporate things going on in the background, and it's funny you mention it because I'm looking at it right now, and there's not just a little bit of a bird in the background. There's a huge bird in the background. That's slang for
do you mean
lady.
that in the English sense? Yeah.
Yes, that's right. There's a huge lady in the background. Now, hold on. I got
tall?
Yes, tall. I don't want to. I'm not trying
Like
to
from
call
Resident Evil?
a weight side. What? Resident
See
Evil.
that meme going around? There was that big tall lady in Resident Evil. I don't play
Yes.
the game.
No, you're right. I did.
It was
see
just going around.
I didn't see this meme, but I trust you.
Listen, she was tall.
Okay.
And you're up to speed.
Well, I'm glad we're all up to speed on this huge bird. And I just wanted to say, if a woman was a bit larger, I would never say huge, like to each their own, live your best life. But this woman was huge as in tall. And I noticed her, so I drew her in the picture. And funny enough, she is facing towards my man Rex here.
Is it usual for you to just do the whole background and surroundings and other people around the person at the time?
I try to incorporate as much as I can. So I'd say, but it is a caricature. I don't get more than 75% of the background.
That's still a pretty high percentage.
I think so. I like to think I'm pretty good at my job. I don't just work on the ats. Thanks, Steve.
Well, now it's just going for me. Griffin made hat quips too.
No.
Yeah, Griffin's on my side. Anyway, I think Griffin, you mentioned it, and or Steve, I'm not sure, but you're right. I've actually cut off the head of this huge woman because within the perspective of this background,
Yeah.
can't see. You can only see shoulder down.
So we don't have a face, unfortunately.
No, but she is wearing a uniform.
Okay.
What kind of uniform here?
It looks like, now, I could be wrong about this, it looks like a school uniform, but let me tell you this, she ain't a student, if you know what I mean.
Just height-wise?
Yeah, well, yeah, probably a teacher, that's what I think. That's what I
Maybe
meant.
a principal if you're that tall.
honestly, I mean, there's been a lot of studies saying tall people are successful in life, so probably.
Now,
Maybe
she's still wearing a school uniform, like a kilt. Like what's a school uniform?
Yeah, she's got a long kilt.
Oh, the AC/DC.
Knee-high socks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Button-up shirt, a little bit of an anchor chain, and a logo on her breast pocket.
Anchor chief is called the captain.
What?
So, describe the rest of this burnt piece of paper you have. We can make out a tall woman.
Yes.
So
wait, are
what
we
have
just
you-
going to gloss over the fact that you made fun of my accent because I called it anchor chief and anchor chief, and you think it sounds like anchor chief?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well,
You
let's
don't think
move
we're
on.
gonna gloss over that?
I think it's probably going to be talked about for a few minutes now.
Oh, okay. You guys need to get into it. I mean.
Well, let's be honest. Okay, first, that's me accent. How dare you? It's second. If a person on a boat is the captain, he's not also in charge of the anchor. He's not the anchor.
Then who's in
chief.
charge of the anchor?
Probably the boatswain, or the first mate, or the dungaree.
Oh, so you don't know?
Oh, well, do you know?
Yes, it's the captain.
The captain.
Who says anchors away?
Probably. I mean, I don't know about that's the captain. That seems
Oh,
more like a first
you don't
mate
know?
thing. It feels like a bosun at best. A bosun is the guy in the back on the poop deck yelling, "Anchors away!" The captain tells him to.
Oh? So where are the orders coming from about the anchor?
Well, the captain, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, hang on. That doesn't mean he's the anchor chief.
He's the whole boat chief.
Yeah, he's the boat chief.
I cannot
not
with
the
them. Like,
anchor.
what is wrong with y'all?
These niggas just going on
That's
and
why I
on.
said,
Boatswain's
like,
not the
we are
anchor
high
chief.
or
Because no
something,
one's
'cause
job
they're
is just
tweaking.
anchor. The boatswain would have other responsibilities as well.
And then the
That's
guy
not
with
out
the
of content though.
Well,
We've never
okay,
run out of
you know,
content.
I'll
They
be
go
done.
with one word
Honestly,
or one
this
sentence.
seems like a
Just
really
take it.
stupid thing
Like,
to
we're
argue
talking about
about,
anchors
and
and
I'd like to
temperatures.
dive a bit
And the
deeper.
guy with the fake accent is obviously
Okay.
someone who's always
The thing
on
is,
this
a
show
captain-
with them.
He's
Right.
giving orders to all subordinates, right? And different people
Because
on the
they're
boat,
taking each
depending on the
other's
size
shit,
of the
like-
boat, have different jobs. If there's only one other person, the other person does most of the other jobs. But if there's a huge crew of people, like there would be on a ship where you yell at anchors away, there's like, first class seamen and boatswains and gunners and whatnot, and for sure there's someone whose job it is to put the anchor down. And you could call him or her the anchor chief.
The captain has ultimate jurisdiction over the anchor.
Yeah, it comes down to the word chief. So the chief would be a leader in all sense of the word.
What you're
We're
describing
getting so
is the
technical
anchor
with this guy.
Or anchor operator, perhaps.
Anchor
Okay,
operator.
look, we're here
Right,
to
and now I
solve
wanna
the
know
murder,
the
but it
official
ain't
name.
getting
Like, y'all got
solved
me
until
fucked
we
up.
solve this discussion.
Did you
Let me tell
make fun of my
you
accent because
right
I said
now,
handkerchief and
Okay,
it
no,
sounded like
anchor
anchor
chief
chief?
is
Right,
an
like,
anchor
what,
assistant would be
dude?
the person who's helping the anchor chief lower the anchor. It's
The
not
anchor chief doesn't need an assistant.
You're clearly saying it wrong. Anchor chief and lower the
No,
anchor.
the
So you
chief
know how to
of
say
the
it.
anchor would be the person who's in charge of the anchor. That's who
Which
the,
is the captain.
No, the captain's in charge of the whole boat. He
Is
can't
the
be.
boatswain? Is the
I
boatswain
think his
making the call
Australian accent
when
is fake, but the
to raise
English
and lower
one
the anchor?
is not that
Are they
bad.
making decisions about the anchor?
The captain is.
Oh, there it
No,
comes
but
down to
but
it.
then who lowers the anchor? It would be
But
the person.
That is just
No, who's in charge of the anchor?
okay. Well, let's say in your chimney sweeping days.
Yeah.
If there were a chimney chief, would it be you because you're cleaning the chimney, or would it be the person who was your boss who tells you what chimneys to sweep?
The listener can't see it, but I'm stoked.
Steve, first you're reductive about my ads, and then you pull a gotcha like this in the argument. I have to admit, the chimney chief would be the person who tells me which chimneys to sweep. Oh man, this I
What
find.
we're gonna do is take a quick break. We're gonna let the tension settle here. You've clearly got, some things to think about and sort your life out a little bit.
Fuck.
Steve, I love you.
I love you too, man. Happy birthday.
Thank you. We'll be right back. And we are back on the podcast, Killed to Death.
And I'm still here. And by saying that, I can now take a drink.
Wow, we're starting to figure out a system here where I don't come back right when Steve is taking a drink and make him like go like.
The amount of times I've spit up all over my computer and had to buy a new one. Once.
And we are still here with Pete Lee Toppins.
Hello, hello, hello.
Pete Lee, you are an immigrant from many places, originally Australia, then England, then Ireland. I'm sure there were a few other stops on your way to here.
No.
Oh no, it's just the three.
No. Just the three. Yeah, please don't make assumptions about my life.
My life.
Are we on bad terms here?
I'm a bit frustrated because it still seems to be like an anchor chief on a boat with a person in charge of the anchor. But I see your point about the chimney chief. Still don't think it holds water on a boat. Let's move on. Just want to say this. Anchor chief is probably the person in charge of the anchor on the boat. Okay.
I can't see what he just whispered into the mic, but I'll listen back in editing.
You'll hear that later.
Pete Lee, you found, first of all, you are a caricature artist.
That's right.
You will draw people with not just different hats.
Thank
also,
you. Griffin, that's what I like to hear. Pete Lee's my name, caricature's my game, don't just do ads. But I will do ads.
Is your slogan.
Yeah. It's written in a big wooden sign that I got right above my booth.
You were at the summer fair right on the lake in the Junction. This, of course, is a fair with 6 or 7 booths and up to 30 people.
Up to 30 people. It was a good year.
What are the other booths there?
Well, I mean, I say 6 or 7 because I'm the kind of guy who likes to set up and forget about it, you know? I don't like to schmoozle too much with the other schnauts there.
Schmoozle with the schnauts?
So I do know there's a bee there right beside me. A beater, like...
yeah, one who beats.
Yeah, exactly, a beater. And then across from me, a bit of a clown operation going on, selling like... painty faces and balloon animals and that kind of hickamara.
Yeah, and they were kind of like shoddy and a joke. That's why you call it a clown operation?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. No, the person running it was not in clown whatsoever. That was just an adjective. That's it. Clowning operation. Bit of a clown operation. It was just a guy trying to hand out face paint and balloons to the mostly adults who were there, the 25 to 30 adults.
Just
who were there.
unblown up balloons.
It was a bit
handful of dripping paint.
Bit disturbing if you ask me, you know what I mean? But to each their own, you know. That's what I say. Live and be a bean if you want.
Be a bean?
Yeah, that's you don't have that saying here. Be a bean if you want.
Like Mr. Bean?
Yes.
He's a bean.
Exactly.
So it was during one of your drawing sessions, a man named Rex from Texas, just outside Dallas. He came to get his picture done. He was wearing a white suit, a bolo tie, and a big white 10-gallon hat. What, out of curiosity, what did you do drawing-wise with the top of his head area?
Certified business deal.
Great question, Griffin. Great way to put it. Very respectful, you know what I mean? So,
I'm about to get ready for a break soon. Because if I don't go
he
watch
said
this
he was a
car
banker,
now, I'm
but
not
I tell
gonna
you,
get to it
he
today.
had quite a schnoz on this one, so I was like, well, that's the feature I got to exaggerate. So I drew his face with the country of Brazil below his face, and him smelling the coffee all the way in Brazil because his nose is so big. And on his head, of course, was a chef's hat.
Because he was like making a stew with Brazil, and the flavors he was getting.
The smell, yeah, he was smelling this sense.
Very
God.
interesting. That's why you're not the caricature artist I am. Both wrong guesses. It's because he had a great sense of smell, which you need to have as a chef. Means you're a good super taster. You can put the right flavors in your dish, and then dish it out, and people will pay for it.
You're super tasty.
And that's why it was a compliment and not an insult that he had a big nose.
100%. That's right. And he was gonna love it. I swear he
But
was.
was it funny enough? Because he wanted it to be funny. Or is there anything you added to make it funny?
Not that the Brazil thing wasn't funny.
Well, that's actually very good and funny too. But just, is there anything else that you maybe added to just make sure he was gonna laugh?
Wow, Steve. Honestly, first of all, the Brazil thing and him smelling it is quite funny when you see it. I guess it's not funny for you when I describe it. I guess you're a visual learner. I get it. But yes, to answer your question, I also added some other stuff. I also added a booger in his giant nose. All right?
I'm like, to imagine this picture, it could be interpreted that he's dripping snot onto Brazil.
Oh, wow, now that you said that, yeah. Oh, that's not a good look.
No.
Aye. Well, maybe it's a good thing you never got it.
You take that picture and you put it into your fryer, your sandwich grill, to grill it up, and it's almost ready for him. And you look back, and he's dead.
Dead, covered in blood. Everywhere.
Covered in blood.
All over the grass. Some of it linked onto the sidewalk because my booth was just off the sidewalk. And it was quite disturbing, really. A few people screamed. Some others just gawked. One person called the police. I wouldn't have done.
No. A bab.
A bab.
Yeah, I don't talk to the cops. Not after dealing with a bab.
And never give them evidence.
Nuh-uh. That's why I'm hoping we can solve it today, because they never did.
Right. So there's blood all over his body. Was there any markings or wounds to suggest where it had come from?
Right in his chest. There was about 40 to 50 stab wounds.
The heart of the body.
Right there, the heart of the body. And that's what's got me. I turned my back for no more than 2 minutes. 2 minutes and 12 seconds. That's how long the testing takes. I know it well. Somebody came up and stabbed him 40 to 50 times. I didn't hear a lick.
Well, you're good at math. What kind of stabs per second is that?
Well, that would be 2 stab every 2 seconds.
Okay, that's doable.
50 to 60 in 2 minutes, right?
I could do 2 stabs in a second, I think.
No, 1 stab every 2 seconds.
Yeah,
even
which is
better.
doable.
But wait,
that's easy. Child's play.
Now,
We could
Chucky
do that.
could do
We
it.
could have done this murder.
Yes.
Oh, but I didn't.
I did not.
I didn't.
No, okay, likely story. And before that was an immigrant joke. Now I've got a bit of a suspicion
It
here.
wasn't an immigrant joke.
Yeah,
Just 'cause you say it doesn't make it
likely
an immigrant
story
joke.
was an immigrant joke. I've been saying that the whole time, like,
Oh.
likely story, immigrant story. But what isn't an immigrant joke is that
Ah.
Steve just implied that they, in fact, were being stabbed the entire 2 minutes, 12 seconds. How do we know that she wasn't, or he wasn't stabbing the person in 30 seconds total?
Good point.
Good point.
I didn't know.
Well, you did know, or did you, Steve? Because you killed the guy.
No, I just mentioned actually that I didn't.
Steve said it right off the top. We cleared ourselves.
I don't. No, I'm not. Hey, I'm not a cop.
I mentioned it right after the cold open.
I realize you mentioned you didn't kill him.
We've said it since too.
Yes,
yeah, I think we said it even a few times.
I think we're getting into semantics here, because once again, we know that someone saying I didn't do it doesn't mean you didn't do it.
Well, then what have I been sitting on this Bible for this whole time?
Steve, I trust you at least.
Thank you.
How would he know the killer took a full 2 minutes to stab him to death?
You just mentioned the 2 minutes, and I just thought if that was enough time to do the allotted numbers of stabs.
Wait, how do you know that it wasn't?
Likely story is what I say, Steve. And to you, Griffin, I say I don't know.
Okay, good answer.
All right.
Wow.
So far, we're all clear. All right.
A Skype call. Hello?
Oh, hello.
Is that Tonky Wonk?
Yep.
Tonky Wonk. Good to see you. Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, I didn't recognise you. Hello, hello.
Pinch me nips, tickle me armpits, and touch me tushy.
If you
Is
know
that
what
why
I mean.
somebody said
I
tickle
know
my
what you mean.
armpits?
I know what you mean.
We
Mr.
thought they were
Boyd, hello.
trolling. My bad.
Hello, and what's this?
I've already seen this episode. Tickle me
I'm
up.
over in the UK.
Oh,
Tickle my
right.
armpits. Damn. My bad. My bad.
Quality.
I did
Why
not
are you
know
phoning
that.
in?
Oh, calling in. I was just trying to call Peter Lee.
Oh, and he was already on this
We
call.
were
I
going to
see.
watch the Euro Cup.
So that must be like a
It's
funny
on.
thing to say over
It's
there.
on.
Tickle my armpits.
It's on. We're
Like
at the
shivering
5
timbers.
minute mark.
Make me laugh, bitch.
Honestly,
Tickle me on
gents,
bits.
I'd like to solve this murder, but if we're
No,
at
but
the
they said
5 minute
something about
mark, I
licking
probably
armpits.
should go
I don't
and
know,
watch the
that was a little
footy,
bit
you know what I mean?
Well, we got to wrap this up quick. What is this?
We're trying to solve a death that happened at Pete Lee's caricature booth. Caricature booth.
No.
Tonky Wonk, you won't believe what happened. A Texan came in, stabbed 50 or 60 times while I was burning with paper.
No. Can you even do that in 2 minutes?
Hang on, that's
We
a bit
don't even know it
suspicious.
was in the 2 minutes.
Yeah, why would you, Tonky Wonk, suddenly think it was a full 2 minutes? Tonky Wonk, where were you
Well,
last
that's how long it
Thursday?
takes you to burn the paper. I was the second man you drew.
That's right. Oh yeah, you were there that day. I knew that.
Yeah, me and my brother, you did the two of us at the same time, and we tipped you $6.
Yes, thank you. Honestly, that put me over the top. And I had been for a nice confusing moment earlier in the episode where Griffin didn't realise that it could have been 3 singles, but I did 2 doubles, and you, with your tip, it got rid of 126.
Oh well, I'm glad you made the day. I know you buy that nice expensive paper, and you've got to pay for the grill.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of overhead for this kind of exciting enterprise. As he showed you one of his paintings, he's really good at them, actually.
No, he's just been describing it.
Oh, well, as someone who's a visual learner, I love to see them in action.
Tonky Wonk.
I've got one on my wall. Look, it's right here.
Whoa!
That's me.
That's one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
words would not do that justice.
Yeah, but try anyway, Griffin. Try and describe.
Blue!
That's about
Yep,
it.
you can see how he made me blue. Exaggerated it a bit.
It's entirely
But I'm
blue.
relatively blue.
It's like a blue square.
Yeah, but he made me totally blue, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's your
And then
best
on
feat.
top of that, look at that. Look what's on my head. It's one of those little beanie propeller hats.
That's right. I took your best feature, your blueness, and I exaggerated it. And I was like, where would a blue person fit well? At the circus. So put a bit of a beanie on them. Because that's what beanies are worn at the circus.
Yeah, exclusively at the circus.
Yes, that's why I'm holding that little bag of popcorn too.
Yep, you know it. Tonky Wonk, he's a regular. Comes to me booth every fair, all around Toronto.
Well,
So you were
It's
there
nice.
that day that Rex was found.
Oh yeah, me and my brother.
Where now? What's your story? Where are you from?
Well, he's the only other man I know who's from the same 3 places that I am.
Australia, England, and
England, and Ireland. I care to London. He's from all 3.
And you traveled
Sounds
together?
like the dude from the It Crowd right
No,
now.
it's just a circumstance. There was a meeting that was supposed to be from anyone who was from all 3 places, and exclusively those 3 places. And we're
Those
the only
Scottish
2
people
showed
must have
up.
been so sad.
Oh, they got their own little clan. They've got their own little crew that hangs out. They don't think they're better than us.
they aren't better.
Just because they're not.
Me and hello, me and Tonky Wonk taking on the world.
It's right. Well, and my brother, but he's never been to Australia. He was born later, so he kept a bit of an oddball, that one.
Can't be a part of the club. Tonky Wonk, I've been meaning to ask you, did you notice anything funny when I was doing your drawing?
What? No, what do you mean funny? You did me blue. Is that what you're talking about?
Aye.
That was funny.
Aye, that's funny. Good point. You got me there. Bit of a gotcha moment. Had one earlier in the thing. Hang on. Anyway, yeah, that's right. That's a bit of a funny thing. But did you notice anything out of the ordinary? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Something that maybe is a precursor to a murder.
Oh. Sorry, sir. What you want to say?
Well, you know what? No, you describe anything odd first, and then I'll ask about the specific odd thing that maybe you saw.
What? Do you have something in mind? Because maybe I saw it.
Well, did you see a tall woman there at any point?
Yeah.
She was huge, right? Like,
Right.
huge.
Huge. Absolutely massive.
How tall?
Got to be 7'2".
Yeah. Wow. That's definitely over 7'1" or 7'2" for sure.
Yeah. It's hard to pinpoint exactly when you're as small as I am. But my brother and I were sitting. He was sitting on my lap, and she came over and wandered past, and both of us looked because we thought that is the tallest woman we've ever seen, and we both said that, and then of course Peter told us, no talking, shut the fuck up, I'm drawing you. So we went back to posing right for him. But we noticed that, we clocked that, tall woman, very tall woman.
Did she give anyone detention?
Did she what?
Did she give anyone detention?
Not that I saw, but she looked like she was ready. She had a little ruler in her hand, and she kept thwapping it against her other palm. And she kept wagging it at children that would go past, running to the clown booth. She was looking to lay the smack down, it looked like.
Okay, so still teacher or principal, someone in authority at a school.
Something like that, yeah.
She seemed to judge.
Yeah, very sharp ruler though, like one of those rulers that are made of metal. It's got all the like centimeter, inches, and all that, and a really sharp point on the end. You know, like really.
Oh, one of those.
Sharp point, yeah, like a ruler that ends at a really knifey type point. You know what I mean? Sorry if you can hear. I've got a dog in the background.
He's watching the game. They scored. Goal!
Oh, that's
a brilliant one.
Tickle me knickers. Who scored? Who was it?
It was Kane. It was Kane.
Kane!
Oh, just outside the box.
Kane. Oh no, I don't know if you know footy, but Kane is an old soccer player who just recently came out of retirement to play in this particular tourney. He's 60 years old.
And he's the best who ever played the game.
And I think it's rude of people to call him Kane just because of that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good nickname, you gotta admit.
It's funny. It's a bit of immigrant humour. You wouldn't get it. Immigrant jokes.
I'm with you, Talkie Wonk.
So all I'm saying is, tall woman in the authority, no problem at all. And then what I did notice is that the snowbirds kept flying overhead.
Yeah.
And
are you talking about women?
Doing that.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, women who come up from the south and spend the summers in in Ontario.
Yeah, look like a lot of women from Florida, maybe Georgia, a couple from Georgia.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's what I assumed when the Texas bloke came up, that he was one of the snowbirds, but he told me he wasn't. And he wasn't flying like the ladies.
No, they were flying over top.
Now, by that, do you mean like running fast?
Yeah, well, there was a couple of trampoline booths set up, and they were just soaring from one to the other.
A couple of the 6 or 7 booths were trampoline booths.
One on each end.
You go back and forth over the other booths.
Yeah, it's a summer fair. Haven't you ever been to a summer fair, Griffin?
It's like you've never been to a seaside summer fair.
I've never been to the one on the lake that you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, this is South Junction.
Yeah, you can see the lake right from the top of the hill.
And I bet they have even better views soaring through the air.
Oh, love to do it. Never been on the track myself. Afraid of ice, so couldn't do it.
But I'm saying the noise from above would disguise any kind of activity below. Yeah, scream and wee. I can only imagine that it would cover up anything that would be happening beneath it.
Crikey. You know, I can't believe I didn't think of that sooner. Of course, that's why I didn't hear the squish, 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 squish of the 40 to 60 stabs. It's because of the whee going on overhead. It just, I get so used to it, going to fair after fair with the wheeze over top, that it's like background noise for me. In fact, I've got a white noise machine that I sleep with. People usually lose like a C sound. I use the ladies flying sound, the snowbird sound.
Some people use the C, you use the we.
That's clever, Griffin. I'll give you that. That's clever.
And I too will give you that.
That's 2. Steve?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And that's the sweep. So this woman, the tall one, huge bird, I'm not, you know what, I'm going to stop saying that, but a huge woman, had a ruler, she was yelling at kids. I'm trying to think of why she would want to kill Rex.
Well, why
did she came up from Texas with him?
Wait, hang on. Who said anything about killing Rex?
It is looking like.
I want something with some colors.
Well. Likely story, and that ain't an immigrant joke, if you know what I mean. I know talking won't.
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
you explained it earlier.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Griffin, did you kill this Texan? Why would you try to pin it on this headmistress?
Listen, I don't know if you were listening earlier, but I said I didn't do it.
Oh, I should mention I didn't do it.
No,
I suppose as soon as I got on the call, I should mention it.
Hang on.
Really suspicious that I hadn't mentioned that sooner.
Now, hang on, Talking Wall. You gotta back me up on this one. We had this argument before. Just because you say you didn't do it. No, you have to. Come on. Just because you say you didn't do it doesn't mean you didn't do it. We all know that. Any murderer is gonna be like, I didn't do it. Doesn't mean they didn't do it.
Okay, I am going to have to side with on this one. It's not something I consider. I only mess around with honest blokes. But you're right, it is possible that someone could be lying. I don't know what kind of monster would do that, but not the sort of people that I tend to deal with.
No, I think Steve mentioned earlier that we're sitting on Bibles. Is that correct?
I mentioned that I was.
Oh, okay, I am as well.
Yeah, so I mean, I can't lie.
We're perched atop Bibles.
Poetry books are here to miss them, but this
I
shit.
have so many things to say about that, and none of them are appropriate, even for a non-censored podcast.
Alright, you're going to have to email me those.
I will.
Well, the reason I'm thinking it was her, I'll explain this. She was coming up behind him in your drawing, and she had a basically knife, and he was stabbed. And we've talked about very few other people.
You know what? This is a good point. And afterwards, the police were like, it looks like this murder was done by a woman. Anyone see a woman around? And of course, anyone who goes to fairs knows to not talk to coppers, so everyone was mum's the word, quiet as a mouse. And nobody said anything, but she was gone. That huge lady. And the police would have talked to her because she was huge.
They would have wanted to talk to her anyways.
Yeah.
Just
Everyone
the
wanted
story.
Yeah.
Oh. So what the hell I do with my phone? Alright guys, probably painted for about, oh man, I probably painted for about a good hour and a half and ran my mouth for about an hour and a half, so that evens out. Really just trying to fill in the colorful background on here first before I start painting the characters. So maybe one more session on the background for a couple hours to get the lower parts down here, and then I'll fill in the characters, and I'm gonna put some clouds in the background as well in the sky, and this piece will be getting wrapped up hopefully in a week or so. Then I have another painting that I started for another client. It's a picture of her father-in-law, so I'll be working on that soon, and then after that I'll get back to working on some of my own art that is lined up against the walls here. So, just always trying to stay busy. Yeah, appreciate y'all chilling with me today. And I'm gonna wrap this shit up. Better take my tablet downstairs so I can charge this motherfucker. Alright, that's off. That's off and that's off. Okay. Where's this button? Catch you guys next time. Peace. Oh, before I leave, I'm probably gonna play some video games in a couple hours. If you guys just want to chill, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna play. I might go to PlayStation Store and see what's up there if there's any like new free games or something. But other than that, I don't know. I might play some shooting games or something. We'll see. But I'll check you guys out later. Peace.